Welcome to Primal Armor, a podcast centered on helping each and every listener strive for a healthier tomorrow. I'm your host, Jeff Kimple, and I'll be covering every aspect within the field of health, helping you build that strong foundation for improving your physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and more. It's time to take your personal wellness into your own hands, and Primal Armor is going to help you reach those goals. I just want to thank you for taking the time today to tune in and listen to today's topic. Enjoy. Before we get started into the episode, I just want to take a few seconds to thank today's sponsor, Anchor Podcasts. They allow me to create and edit these podcasts for you guys. They're also the ones who distribute this podcast to other platforms such as Spotify and the Apple Podcast app on your phone, so you guys can listen to it anywhere at any time. It's everything needed all in one app. I encourage you all to get started today. Go download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and follow the podcast. For episode 17, I want to dive in depth again on another topic we covered slightly in our immune health episode. Today, we're going to be covering supplements and supplementation. This is a huge topic, and I think it's very important. You need to know what you're putting into your body and the why behind it. I know so many people who are taking supplements because they have heard claims from the media or from other people and decide that that's what they need to take. They have no idea what's in it, they have no idea what it does in the body, and therefore they have no idea why they're taking it. There are so many supplements out there, along with so many other supplement companies, that most people don't know where to start and are not educated well enough to make the proper decisions. I want to use this episode today to educate you well enough that you can feel more confident about making these decisions. First, let's cover what a supplement really is. Supplements are actually dietary supplements, meaning that their ingredients are also found in the foods that we eat. They are used to supplement what we are not getting in our daily diet from a lack of variety. But dietary supplements are highly processed within a factory, and there's just always a chance of contamination during the manufacturing process. Who would you rather have manufacturing your supplements? A factory or Mother Nature? You should be wanting to get all natural sources of these, and that can be done with a proper, healthy, and well-balanced diet. The only reason you would need to take a supplement is if you are lacking in a certain area of your diet and need to add it in another way. A supplement cannot be used to treat or cure any type of disease or ailment, and this is why you need to be educated in what you're putting into your body and not just trusting someone else's claims in the product. For example, in 2013, there was a Long Island doctor who noticed that his patients were showing symptoms of anabolic steroid use, such as liver damage, blood clots, muscle pain, masculine features appearing in women, and even testicular shrinkage, infertility, and gynecomastia in men, which is just the fancy term for man boobs. These patients had all gone to the same chiropractor who was prescribing him these healthy life chemistry vitamins by Purity First. Although the label of these products appeared normal and didn't list any unusual ingredients for a vitamin, regulators discovered anabolic steroids in the product after investigating health complaints. And although Purity First supplements are no longer on the market, stories like this are all too common, and the FDA's list of recalled supplements grows each and every month. It is important for you to know that the ingredient label is not always an accurate picture of what is or isn't in these products. Even simple and safe-looking products from seemingly reputable companies can be contaminated with dangerous ingredients that can cause serious health problems and violate anti-doping rules. Despite the claims that a dietary supplement might make in its advertising, there are no regulatory or enforcement agencies that there are out there to make sure that advertisements are accurate. Federal law doesn't even require supplement companies to prove to the FDA that their products are safe or effective before being sold. Because of this, you should not listen to any claims and ignore any advertising and simply just focus on the research about an individual ingredient that makes up these dietary supplements. Even though there are many high-quality and safe dietary supplements on the market, there's always a possibility that what you're choosing to put into your body can contain dangerous and illegal ingredients. There are often no warning signs that a product is unsafe, and many individuals have suffered health problems from using products that are incorrectly labeled or contaminated with dangerous ingredients, such as anabolic steroids, pharmaceuticals, or even research drugs. Sometimes risky or dangerous ingredients are even listed right on the label or identified by a confusing name. Supplements can also contain a low-quality ingredient or old or unstable that degrade very quickly. Other supplements might not even contain the ingredients that are listed on the label. The FDA and other organizations list many examples of tested products containing 0 amounts of a listed ingredient. If you're reliant on getting adequate amounts of a supplement into your diet, this can cause malnutrition because you're taking a proclaimed supplement that doesn't have 0 tracings of what you need. And this happens way more often than you'd think. So far, you may have realized that the supplement industry can be very unregulated. So, how do you obtain a dietary supplement that you need in the safest way possible? Well, there's no risk-free way to choose a supplement. And the only way to have 0 risk is to not use supplements at all and rely on real whole food for your sources. If you do need to add in a dietary supplement to your diet, there are good companies out there. You just have to do your research and find out which ones that you can trust. The best and most trustworthy place that you can do this is by visiting the USADA website, or the United States Anti-Doping Agency. This will give you a list of brands and companies that have been well researched by some of the smartest people in the world and that they can be trusted, and they will also give you a list of the ones that you have to stay away from. For your own knowledge, I just want to go over some red flags that you might see on labels or advertisements that should just make you want to stay away from these products at all. If a product is safe and effective, the results will be doing the talking for themselves, and they won't need to do all these claims to help them sell. If you hear any of these advertisements for a supplement, you need to stay away. If a product claims to be FDA or USADA approved, that is a red flag because these organizations do not approve dietary supplements. So right there, they just lied to you, and you don't want to trust that company. If you see phrases such as the newest scientific breakthrough, or secret formula, money back guarantee, quick fix, or what experts don't want you to know, you just need to turn around and just walk away right there if you see those. These are non-research claims, and you have no idea what's in their product. They use these phrases to sell to uneducated individuals. But after today, you're going to be educated, and you're going to know not to trust claims like that. If a product claims to work as an alternative medication to treat a disease or illness, you should also walk the other way. The last big red flag that you see more often now through the use of social media is an athlete or a fitness trainer promoting a product. These are often products that are very under-researched and not backed by a healthcare clinician. And so they have to use someone famous out there as their means of advertising to get the word out there and sell more. Oftentimes, these athletes and trainers are just as misinformed as the general public on what's in a supplement. They're just getting a paid sponsorship to promote a product. So they have to say whatever the company tells them to. And that's why you can't trust anything you hear as claims from others and other companies. You have to understand what's going on for yourself and be well informed to make the proper decisions on what you're putting into your body. You have to be able to look at an ingredient label and understand what you're looking at. If you don't understand what you're looking at, then why would you put it into your body? If the ingredient is unrecognizable to you, or if it's some chemical compound name that you cannot even pronounce, then it's probably not even safe for your body in the first place, and it deviates from why you would need to take a supplement at all. It needs to be replacing what you're lacking in your diet, and your body's not lacking these long-name chemical compounds that companies use in their supplements. All dietary supplements can be added into your diet through real food. The only reason you should be adding these in is if you are deficient in a certain something. There are a handful out there that I highly recommend, like fish oil, vitamin D, multivitamin, creatine, and caffeine in some cases. And I want to cover each of these in detail just really quick. For fish oil, we covered that a few weeks ago on how that helps combat inflammation in the body and can be very beneficial. The best way you can get this into your system is by eating real fish. This is the highest level and the most natural source of fish oil that you'll get. Once you have to start supplementing it with a fish oil pill, it begins to become more and more processed, and these acids become oxidized in the process, which actually reduces their nutrition value significantly. Does it still help more than completely lacking fish oil in your diet? Of course. So if you cannot stand to put fish in your diet, and this is the next best option, do it. But if you can, add fish into your diet to get the best benefit of this. For a multivitamin, it should be taken with a grain of salt. If you are eating a well-balanced diet, then you should be getting everything that you need in your diet. But if you look at the average American diet, almost everyone should be taking a multivitamin because they're going to be deficient in something, whether that's vitamin C, calcium, iron, etc. Many people lack these in their diet and need to have it added in because they have such a terrible diet. Calcium and iron are huge, especially for women. With people today trying to shy away from having dairy in their diet, they also have a lack of calcium, which is needed for both muscles and in the bones. With more and more people leaning towards meatless meals and becoming vegans, iron deficiencies are higher than they ever have been before. And this is especially prevalent in women. As women age, bones deteriorate even quicker than men's, which is why osteoporosis is such a big deal. This is literally pores forming in the bone, making them more brittle and prone to breaking. And this process is sped up with the lack of calcium in your diet. So it's very important for a woman to be having some sort of calcium in their diet, or else take a multivitamin to support their need. And the same goes for iron. Women tend to eat a lot less meat than men, which already gives them lower iron levels. And then when a woman menstruates, they also lose iron with the loss of blood in the body. So that's just another reason women need to ensure that they're getting adequate amounts of iron into their diet. And if they aren't, they need to be taking a multivitamin to regulate those levels. For vitamin D, it's actually very easy to get adequate amounts of this into your life. It can be in your foods as well as just going out and getting in the sun. Being outside for about 30 minutes gets you your daily recommended levels needed. So in the summer, most people get this very easily, or if you live in a warmer climate, you can do this pretty easily year-round. But if you are someone who just doesn't get outside much or live in a very cold climate during certain parts of the year, you need to be looking into a vitamin D supplement during those specific times. Creatine is one not needed by most people, but this is one that can give you a better performance in the gym. Creatine is part of the equation in the system that runs short and intense bursts of movement and exercise, like sprints and very intense and heavy sets in the gym. Once you burn through and deplete those energy stores, that's when fatigue sets in and failure hits. Having adequate amounts of creatine in the body can help delay muscle fatigue at higher intensities, allowing you to push harder and for longer to become bigger, faster, and stronger. Most people are led to believe that they need some sort of supplement of a pill or powder to get this into their diet. But really, creatine is just made in your body from the amino acids glycine, arginine, and methionine. These amino acids are just the building blocks to the protein that's in your food. So consuming things like eggs, beef, pork, chicken allows your body to naturally make the amount of these that you're going to need to fuel these high intensity exercises. And then the last one I want to cover is caffeine. And this might not be known by a lot of people, but caffeine is a stimulant, which is actually considered a drug, and it can have an addicting effect. People supplement into their day by taking a pill form, drinking coffee, or even drinking energy drinks. Caffeine can be a great boost for people who need to kickstart their day off, but like I said, there's an addictive effect, so there is such thing as too much. Caffeine also affects the heart by elevating your resting heart rate levels. So, too much caffeine throughout the day can put added stress to your heart over time if this is a daily routine. The best way to get caffeine into your system is with black coffee. If coffee is just not your thing, you can also get this by consuming green tea or dark chocolate, because those also have traces of caffeine in them. The big problem is, most ways people are getting caffeine in their diet are also contributed with other things that are very unhealthy. If you aren't making your own coffee or making your own tea, chances are that they're loaded with sugar. So while you might feel like the caffeine gave you a boost, it could actually be that sugar rush that you might not have for too long, and it won't have a long-lasting effect before you crash. Most people can't drink black coffee, so they have to load it up with sugar just to make it taste good. So you're actually offsetting any health benefits that you would have had in the coffee if you would have just left it normal. Where things really start to get bad for your body is when we start looking at energy drinks, such as Monster, Red Bull, and 5-Hour Energies. The problem is with energy drinks, they contain a lot of extra stimulants than just caffeine, most of which are banned substances. 3 common banned substances that are used in energy drinks are phenethylamine, 2-amino isoheptane, and hygenamine. These are all on the list of banned substances. So if you were to be drug tested after drinking one of these, you might actually fail that drug test. Add these stimulants on top of the caffeine, and that's even more added stress onto your heart that's not needed. And that's not even to mention all the added sugar in these drinks as well. These are just a lot of negatives and risks to take for a quick energy boost throughout the day. So while caffeine can be useful and found in natural and healthy ways, take that with a grain of salt, because this can do a lot more harm than it does good in most situations. As you can tell by all the examples we just listed here, you can get adequate levels of everything you need just by having a healthy and well-balanced diet. The ones that I just listed off should only be added if you know that you're not getting enough through your diet. But you should always be cautious when supplementation versus a proper diet. The use of unhealthy, low-quality, or unlisted ingredients is a big problem in the supplement industry. Even though there are many high-quality and safe dietary supplements on the market, there are even more that are unresearched and loaded with dangerous ingredients. Sometimes these ingredients are even listed right on the label, but with confusing names. These ingredients can be very low quality, old, or unstable, and degrade very quickly. This is why you need to do your research before deciding to take a certain supplement from a certain company. You have to know what you're putting into your body and the why behind it. If you can't give a reason why, then you shouldn't be taking it. And this goes for both the reason behind what benefit it's going to give you, as well as knowing you are lacking in a certain dietary supplement that you need in your body. You are responsible for everything that you put into your body, so make sure you do your research beforehand. Visit USADA.org, or the website for the United States Anti-Doping Agency, and follow their risk reduction decision chart. This chart has been researched by some of the top minds in the world, and will give you a list of all the safe and unsafe brands and products that are out there. They've done the work for you. You just have to take the time to figure out what's best for you. Again, once you figure out what you need to add into your life in some sort of dietary supplement, follow all the advice we just went over. Partake in a well-balanced diet and try and fix your deficiencies first. And if that doesn't work, then that's when you turn to a dietary supplement. Now, you should be well educated enough to make the right decisions and know where to go to get trusted information. I hope that you learned something from today's podcast that you can take away and apply to your own life. Keep practicing healthy habits and stay safe during this time. I'll talk to you guys again on the next podcast.